Arcane, written by Neospector, Chapter 5.
I'm telling you, it's not like that!
Sugar exclaimed as the two trudged up the hill.
Uh-huh.
Aran smirked.
It's the truth! He doesn't... and I don't... And you shut up!
We're here.
Aran said bluntly. Sugar harumphed and marched through the small group of explorers before coming to a stop in front of the giant maple tree. She took a deep breath, in and out.
I mean the goddess. I mean my other self, resides in the event horizon, a place close to the Aridus flow.
The mage placed a hand on the trunk of the tree, and the area underneath began to glow a soft blue. Sugar removed her hand, and the blue palm print expanded, twisting clockwise into an oval. There was a soft sound like a jingling of bells, and the edges of the portal stabilized. Sugar stepped to the side. The portal pulsed slightly, but unlike the portal to Pantheon or the dimensional mirror, the interior appeared to be a solid wall of blue energy, marked with a light pattern.
2 at a time, please?
Yuuki stepped forward first. The rest of the group hesitated to find an order. Finally, Lyuva stepped forward and stood to the side of Yuuki. Sugar gave a slight nod, and Lyuva motioned to the portal.
After you,
She said. Yuuki shrugged, took a deep breath, and walked into the blue wall. It felt like the time the Memory Keeper had opened their eyes, only this time, Yuuki could see his body just fine. Wisps of energy trailed around him like clouds. He felt himself land on something solid, some kind of invisible platform. Around him was a cloud of stars and glowing blue light, not unlike a miniature sunrise.
wow.
Yuuki heard a voice behind him. He turned to see Lyuva, staring in awe at the same sights he saw. She looked at him, and the two nodded in understanding. They began to walk towards the blue light. As the light became closer, Yuuki could see a stone arch, surrounded by rocks and flowering plants, suspended in the void around them. In the center of the arch floated a familiar figure. The two humans approached the figure and stared. The figure stared back. "Goddess," Yuuki greeted. The being smiled warmly.
Hello, Yuuki. It's been a while.
"You know why we're here then?" the warrior ventured.
I do.
The goddess closed her eyes.
And I shall help you. But
But
Lyuva crossed her arms.
you must pass a test. A simple one. No impossible hurdles, no feats of strength, nothing like that.
alone or together?
Lyuva asked, suspicious.
Alone.
The goddess answered. The two humans glanced at each other. Yuuki stepped forward, and Lyuva walked a few paces away to sit on one of the floating rocks. The goddess turned her attention to the explorer.
Yuuki?
"I haven't seen you since Maple Island was in flames," the warrior chuckled, then straightened up. "What is your test?"
One simple question.
The goddess answered. "Ask away." The goddess closed her eyes.
What is it that you cherish the most in this world?
This caught Yuuki by surprise. He began to think. He cherished a lot of things. He cherished the world itself. He cherished the people in it. He cherished the stuffed yeti his mother once bought for him, which he named Mr. Snowflake. But cherished the most? In the whole world? There was only one answer. He thought of his departure on the boat where he first met Sugar. He thought of the time Olive was accused of stealing the gem of Nile Desert by Rondo. He thought of the time he and the other 4 worked together to rebuild Maple Island by hand. "My friends who I adventured with," Yuuki finally said. The goddess smiled.
I see.
She said,
That must not have been an easy answer. People have many things that are precious to them. There is no right answer. I simply want to know where your priorities lie. Please, hold out your hand.
Yuuki did so, and the goddess waved her own hand. The air above Yuki's palm shimmered blue, and a small, irregular stone, marked with an unidentifiable symbol, appeared. Yuuki clutched the object.
That is an arcane stone. It is proof of my approval in your abilities. When you leave this place, and all 6 of you have passed the test, the stone will gain its true power. To pass through the gate to the present, you must have the approval of 3 manipulators of the Erdus.
Grandis and the other Earth?
Grandest indeed. However, the portal to Earth was open only recently. I am not aware of if its god or goddess, if it even has one, can manipulate the Erdus.
The goddess sighed.
You should seek out the goddess of Tiny Realm instead, the guardian goddess of the demons. She can be difficult, but not impossible to deal with.
More traveling? Yuuki asked wearily. This was beginning to take longer than expected, and the more time they spent in Mapleworld, the more Nineheart was going to complain. The goddess chuckled slightly.
I can divert the portal to the goddess of Grandis. 2 of your group can take her test, and 2 may take the test of Tiny Realm's goddess. Worry not about Nineheart.
Yuuki smiled and glanced back. Leuva looked up from her shoe and tapped on an imaginary watch with great exaggeration. I should finish up, the warrior concluded. The goddess smiled warmly.
Good luck.
With a soft flash, Yuuki was back on Maple Island's hill. The sun had ticked a few degrees towards the west, so he estimated they had been gone for about 10 minutes. He quickly pocketed the arcane stone and walked over to the group. The remaining 4 stared at him curiously, and he responded with a small smile. "Piece of cake," he said. He then proceeded to explain the situation. About 3 minutes later, Leuva reappeared. Her face was contorted into a scowl. Yuuki frowned. "What's wrong?" he asked.
Nothing.
The blaster answered bluntly. The usual pep in her voice was replaced with venom.
None of your business. I don't want to talk about it.
The blaster tromped off to the side and sat down, staring at the view from the hill. Yuki's frown deepened. Maybe the goddess had asked her something that struck a nerve. He wanted to console her, but something told him he might be better off letting her cool off. He decided to leave it for now. The warrior watched the leaves of the maple tree rustle in the soft breeze. Light trickled through and made the shadows dance playfully along the ground. He felt strangely nostalgic. He usually did before he went on a big adventure.